I will do as the last time I was in Norway, when I was at the conference. I will start with addressing my Norwegian brothers and sisters in our own Scandinavian languages. Ja, sist jag var på plats i Norge så underströk jag vikten av nordiskt samarbete. Och jag pratar inte bara då om återvandring utan nordiskt samarbete i mycket vidare termer där vi behöver ett fördjupat strategiskt partnerskap mellan de nordiska länderna. Jag pratar inte om att vi ska återupprätta Kalmarunionen, men vi behöver mycket tätare samarbeten. Vi behöver alternativ till EU, till NATO. Och självklart är återvandring en sån fråga där vi behöver samarbeta med varandra. Men utan återvandring från våra respektive nordiska länder så kommer vi inte kunna bygga ett starkt Norden. Men vi kommer kunna bygga ett starkt Norden för vi lever i återvandringens tidevarv. Och vi vet alla hur starkt Norden kan vara. Vi har visat det historiskt många gånger och vi kan visa det igen. Ett starkare, mer enat Norden kommer ge en enorm återverkning för kommande generationer i våra respektive nordiska länder. And with those words to my Norwegian brothers and sisters, let's talk about remigration. Things are moving in the right direction. It will not always be a straight line. There will be speed bumps. There are a lot of speed bumps right now when it comes to the politics, not the debate, but the politics. There will be some U-turns, minor U-turns, but the direction, the main direction is forward. We are winning. We are approaching the era of massive remigration. We are not there yet, but we are, I would say, very close, because it only needs to happen in one European country and the rest will follow. And there are a lot of candidates in Europe that are candidate countries that are on the verge of making this a reality. And I want to look outside Europe for a moment. And I want to look at El Salvador. Because Nayib Bukele is a leader that has shown the world that it is possible to do what was said to be impossible. When he was about to break the gangs in El Salvador, he was told that, oh, you can't do this, the economy will hurt. He was told, oh, no, other countries will sanction us. But it didn't happen. And of course, this is not a migrant issue, but the arguments from the liberals are the same. It's not possible. You can't do this, you can't do that. Now, he did it. He did it anyway. And it worked out fine. And now he has a very strong support from the voter base. And we can see it in Europe too. We can see it in Austria, where FPÖ now has almost, I think, in some opinion polls, they actually have more than 40% even of the support. And they are one of the best remigration parties there is in Europe. We can see it in the UK, where Restore, and I really underline this, I say restore, not reform. Reform is not the solution, it's restore that is the solution. Where they are on the path to actually win parliamentary majority. I think they are, because they have shown a very strong election discipline. They have shown a good strategy, and I think they will break the political correctness. I think they will break the liberal foundation that has destroyed Europe. And I don't care which country in Europe that goes first. I hope it will be Sweden, but I don't know. We'll see. I hope. But I think there are other countries that are more likely to do massive remigration before Sweden. Denmark in the Nordic countries are more likely. Austria, UK, I don't know, maybe France. I'm not so sure about Jordan Bardella and Le Pen, but I don't know. I can be proven wrong, and I hope I can be proven wrong if they actually win there. But the direction is obvious. The debate is not what it was years ago. The political decisions are lagging behind. Of course, that's the way politics works. But the debate is not to be recognized from how it used to be. 10 years ago in Sweden, we couldn't revoke citizenships. Now we have taken a decision in the Swedish parliament that it is possible to revoke citizenship. But it will be limited, of course. It's not the way I would like to see it, but it will be possible. And it's not only that. In the parliament, there are a very little minority that are against these changes. The biggest parties in the parliament are pro. The Social Democratic Party are behind this law. The right parties are behind this law. And we all even had a communist in the parliament saying, well, maybe we could discuss this issue. Maybe it's possible to have a discussion regarding revoking citizenship. But if you back the tape to 10 years ago, you would be said to be a Nazi if you had this opinion. But today, even a communist are standing in the Swedish parliament and saying, the government taking this too far, but we should be able to discuss the question. That is how far the debate has come. But that's not enough, because we need political change. And Nayib Bukele has shown you can do radical change if you have the stomach to do it, if you have the spine to do it. But we need real leaders, and that is a thing Europe doesn't have a lot of. But we will see. The most important question is the one about citizenship. I know a lot of people out there are talking about, these people who are living in our countries and have asylum, they have to go home. But they are not the main problem. Of course, we should send them home. But we have a lot of non-assimilated, non-European migrants who doesn't work, who doesn't know the language, who doesn't respect the people in the country. They have to have their citizenship revoked. And I don't care if they only have a Swedish citizenship and they have cancelled their original citizenship in their real country. I don't care, because now it's possible to have an agreement with a third country. So if they can't be sent home, then they can be sent to this third country. And we have to discuss this, because it isn't enough to send people who have come here for asylum. That is not enough. That is not enough. We have to discuss the citizenship, and we have to discuss deportation. You can't do this voluntarily. Voluntarily remigration doesn't work. In Sweden, we have tried this. We have voluntarily remigration. We even pay them to go back. Do you know how many left Sweden between January and March this year? 6 people. 6 people. And we are talking about hundreds of thousands of Swedish krona who we pay for these people to go back, and they won't. They don't do it. It doesn't work. Yes, voluntarily remigration will work if deportation is used as the main tool. My most important message is we have to take the next step. This remigration movement has to take the next step. We always have to be a few steps in front of everybody, because the debate has swung so fast, at least in Sweden, that it is hard for us who really want large remigration to keep up. But we have to keep up. And we have to understand that it isn't controversial to say that asylum seekers have to go home. It isn't. It's hardly controversial to talk about citizenship the way I do. It's a bit controversial, but we have to do it, because I believe, my feeling is that a lot of people within the remigration movement still talks about voluntarily remigration. Won't work. We have to revoke citizenship, and we have to look beyond the dual citizenship question. I don't care if they have one citizenship, if they are a burden for for a European country, they should be sent back. And we're not talking about a few 100,000, we're talking about millions that have to go home in Europe. Because we have a lot of problems that isn't migrant related that we have to take care of. And we can't do that if we have millions of welfare tourists from non-European countries that don't speak our language, that doesn't respect our way of life, and so forth. Then they have to go home. That must be the message from the European remigration movement. Thank you.